Chema Boaje is a member of parliament for Myong. No, he's a member of parliament for Bantaba. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Daniel.
Good morning.
Right, Dan. Honorable.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah, dear credit. Now, I'm my scholarship. And I'll chunk of what this. You'll be teaching your students who completed completing.
Yes. We prepare the.
You come them to teach them extra classes.
Yes, for the exams techniques, so they can maximize.
That's right.
And take advantage of the.
Charlie, dope.
Free SHS.
Oh, yeah, dear credit. Too much.
Oh, we are trying.
I remember Parliament for Myong, Mohammed Abdulaziz. Were you in the constituency? Oh, you good morning. When you were having the elections over the weekend?
Yes.
Or is it local level? How do you call it?
The constituency elections. Mine came on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It was originally scheduled for Saturday and postponed to Sunday. I started driving towards the constituency. I think it's about 5 to 10 minutes drive to the constituency. I had a call from my caucus to get back to Accra immediately to join a delegation to the US for some parliamentary work. So I had to make a U-turn. Unfortunately, there has been some hitches when I got back to Accra, but it went well.
Wow. It's good that you didn't go to the rear. At least we'll have you for today.
Exactly.
But you will still come on.
I think so.
But no, I'll take you to the airport. Well, that's a good thing about it. Charlie, to be MP is great. Because you guys, you look good.
It's an honorable position, but it's a position that needs to be well taken, and it comes with a lot of responsibility.
You're talking about what comes with a lot of responsibilities is concerns being raised by the minority chief whip, Muntaka. And Honorable Muntaka alleges that Ken Agyapong, member of parliament for Asin Central, may have impugned or put into disrepute by his comments the reputation of the legislature. We'll bring you excerpts from all that captured from Parliament from Joseph Opoku-Gapo.
The Privileges Committee, chaired by Joseph Osewusu, met for a little over an hour. Kennedy Agyapong was expected to appear, but he didn't. Muntaka Mubarak was in there. It was a closed sitting. The indication is that he was given the opportunity to make a case for which Kennedy Agyapong should be investigated for alleged contemptuous comments. And we gather that the committee came to a conclusion that there is a basis to investigate him for alleged contemptuous comments. Ras Mubarak is the MP for Kumbungu and a friend of the committee. He sat through those closed-door sessions.
The committee came to a conclusion that indeed the MP's Code of Conduct, if you look at section 4.9 of the Code of Conduct of Members of Parliament, it was breached. And the standing orders of Parliament and the Constitution was also breached. I think Article 122 was breached. So it was important to invite the Honorable Muntaka to appear on the 3rd of July and also invite the Honorable Ken Agyapong to appear on the 3rd of July so that both parties will be given a fair hearing in the spirit of natural justice.
After the sitting, members of the committee merged. Muntaka Mubarak, the Aswansi MP who made the allegation, says he thinks he made a very good case for which Kennedy Agyapong should face sanctions from Parliament.
I appeared before the committee as a witness, and I had to substantiate all that I have said, and I have to identify the documents and all what I've presented to them. They looked at it, and fortunately, because we had a video, it has to be played so that everybody hear what is in it. I have done my part. That is what I have to do. They asked me questions, I've answered all the questions, I'm done. It's for the committee to determine that what I put before them and what they themselves have seen amount what I propose on the floor being contemptuous. And it is my favorite hope that looking at the tape and listening to its content, looking at the conduct of our own colleague, I want to believe that the committee will come to that determination and probably open up the public discussions.
Vice Chairman of the Privileges Committee, Andrew Ejapa Mesa, says the next steps on what would happen going forward will soon be made known to members of the public.
If an invitation is extended to him to appear, I'm sure that he would, because my understanding is that no invitation was extended to him to appear today.
The Privileges Committee has set July 3 as the next date on which they will be meeting, and at that particular session, it's expected that it would be an open one during which Muntaka Mubarak would make his claims and Kennedy Agyapong will be given the opportunity to cross-examine him for a final determination on what should happen as far as these allegations are concerned. From Parliament House in Accra, my name is Joseph Opokugagbo.
Well, so we had to do the discussions, and it's good that we have members of Parliament here who also have friends who are on the committee, and they have also some information related to that. We'll try and speak to those related to it if we can get them on the lines. But let me start with you. The Privileges Committee going to invite the Honourable Member of Parliament for Asin Central and all that has been happening, just because the allegation is put into disrepute the name of Parliament, the house that you belong to.
Well, let me just say good morning to everybody, especially my people in Bantama constituency, and to say that I'm sure the Parliament is following the procedures. You know, they've invited the key, what do you call it, the petitioner to come and for them to determine whether or not there's a case to be investigated. And so the process, as we heard, you know, has started. So let's just keep watching, because I'm sure they'll also give a chance if it gets to Honorable Kennedy. They will invite him as well, and then he also has to come and do the cross-examination, whatever they have to do. It's just beginning, so it will be too early for anybody to make any particular comment. So let's see if they're able to establish the fact that there's a case for the committee to look into, then that's what basically will happen, and we'll all watch and see what happens.
That's it. Short and brief. MPs, they protect their own. Is that the case?
Oh, it's not a matter of protecting our own. It's about preserving the sanctity and the dignity of Parliament. The Privileges Committee, I'm aware, has invited a lot of people. In fact, Black Rasta, for instance, was hauled to plenary in the past. That would have been in the fifth Parliament.
He's not a member of Parliament.
Exactly. So and so we must not be seen as overly protecting our own. No one is above the law. The Privileges Committee yesterday listened to the petitioner, Honorable Muntaka, who happens to be the chief whip for the minority. In fact, as a leader, he has a bigger responsibility to ensure the dignity of Parliament. And he filed a motion, and the motion was seconded by the chief whip from the majority side. And so that was at the point where some prima facie case was established that this matter is worthy investigating. And so it was referred to the Privilege Committee. They invited Honorable Muntaka. He appeared before the committee. I'm aware that he gave some sufficient evidence in the form of audio visuals to buttress his allegations against the Asin Central MP. Invitation has been extended to Mr. Kennedy Agyapong to appear before the committee somewhere Tuesday, 3rd July, to respond to all those allegations. And clearly, if what is reported to have been said by Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, I'm sure he will have some punitive sanctions that will meted out to him. As a member of Parliament, he has every duty to respect the House and to conduct himself in a manner that would reflect confidence, not just to his person, also to Parliament as an institution. When you refer to Parliament as cheap and useless and virtually run down the leader of the House, Honorable Chairman, sir, is uncalled for. A member of Parliament should not be conducting himself in such a manner. I think that this is an opportunity for us to bring our colleague to order. He's been noted for some of these unfortunate remarks and threats. Most of the time, those threats are directed to his party members, and they have always remained mute when those threats and abusive words are used against them. But to extend it to the institution of Parliament would not be tolerated. I don't want to preempt the findings of the committee.
But that's what we're doing.
At least what he can do would be to confine himself to abusing his party members. But to abuse a state institution like Parliament would not be tolerated. Let's see what the outcome will be. But there are audio officials that confirms what Honorable Muntaka has alleged, and we'll see what happens. If it means dragging him to a plenary for us to engage him, we will do. We will do. We will do. At least you people, if he threatens you and cannot talk, he says that if you people joke, he will tell you how you won the elections. We never won an election, and so he has threatened to
what did he say?
No, this is some other statement that he made on some other platforms.
What I didn't want to do
when he attacks them and they attempt to respond, then he tells them that
he's
look,
being diplomatic about
it.
No, Roland,
he's being diplomatic about it.
No, he has to be diplomatic.
Roland, what I didn't want to do.
No, you see, he's a member of Parliament. We all have a responsibility. You see, sometimes let us avoid this excessive partisanship and speak to the issues as they are. You see, when the man denigrates Parliament, it affects even confidence in you as a member of Parliament. And so we must all agree that yes, some of his public utterances are unparliamentary. This is not the first time.
This is too much.
This is not the first time.
No.
This time we have an opportunity.
Let me make a point also. Just a quick point. What I didn't want to do was to, prejudge the situation like he's trying to do.
But he's not prejudging. No. He's relating public statements that have been made.
No. What I'm saying is that the issue came.
How do you call Agyapong? Because we have a petitioner and then what?
Oh, I only know Honorable Muntaka as a petitioner. Okay. Maybe respond.
Just like he said, the way he narrated it. The issue came before the House, right, in the motion, and it was seconded by our chief whip, right?
Which I have stated here.
So we all believe that if this issue deserves to be looked into,
no,
it was agreed by the House, and we pushed it to the committee.
Let him make his point.
What we don't want to do is to sit here and begin to cast judgment.
No problem.
Nobody
has done that. Nobody has done that. Have we done that?
No, you did that. You don't pay attention.
I didn't pay attention. I'm here.
No, listen to me. Because that was where he was going. That he's fond of doing that. He's abusing his party members. They are afraid he will talk about
this. He's abusing people.
I say that, listen, nobody, I agree with him that nobody's above the law. But this issue has been referred to the committee.
Right.
Let's go through the process.
That's right.
There was a reason why the chairman of the committee, who happens to be the first speaker, said, media, please stay out. Let's have a conversation. Let's begin. When we get to the point where we need to invite the media, we'll bring them in. So the last thing we want to do is to sit here and begin to draw lines and let's see what happens.
That's Honorable Abaji, I have not made an attempt in any way to halt.
It's all right. If you haven't, then let's do it. If you haven't, it's okay.
I have not made any attempt to halt proceedings at the committee.
If you haven't, that's fine.
So now let's go to the original statement. And let's go to the original insert. And then we'll later also play you a response from Honorable Agyapong after he came back from a travel recently.
Oseitie Mensah Bones will be disgraced if I release the evidence I have on him.
Are you out of your mind? Parliament
I have much more experience in life than Mensah. Even though he's older, I will deal with him if he misbehaves. What I earn from Parliament is peanuts compared to how much I spend. We need to stop an ass and find genuine investigators.
He shouldn't make himself as a thing good. 107.1.
I think they've invited Honorable Muntaka to come with evidence that I insulted Parliament. But the media made a mistake and lumped us together. But if they invite me, I'll show you, I'll go. Because I never insulted Parliament. I was responding. You see, Muntaka made a mistake. I was responding to one MPP vice chairman in Ashanti. Of course, he has apologized, so I'm only repeating, not that I'm going back to the issue. So the vice chairman went on air, folks happy and all those, to say that if I am saying that Anas is a blackmailer and extortionist, then I don't deserve to be called an MP. And if I can't live with Anas, I should move to Togo. Then, you know, he will never call me honorable. So then, of course, my leader, he didn't insult me, but it's like what he was referring to was undermining what I was doing because I have evidence and he doesn't. So I think the proper thing for my leader to have done was to call me. But this radio station will call me, your leader is saying, I said, well, he doesn't know what I know. So when I went on my station, it came up again. I said, look, if he says he's not going to call me honorable doesn't give me money. 11,000 cedis is my salary. And my chop money is more than that. So what? But if you guys believe in Anas, that is the truthful person, why is it that he did an investigation against judiciary and he brought it and he didn't bring the parliament? He should bring the parliament one too. And I pose the question, is legislature better than the judiciary or what? So why should he bring the judiciary and leave parliament?
Parliament, do you have evidence?
That's what he has been saying. That's what he has been bragging everywhere that parliament were begging him. But we wanted him to bring it out. Okay? So I said to my leader that, look, I respect you. I respect my leader. But of late, the way he goes out criticizing me, next time, if he continues like that, I'll deal with him pepe. That's what I said. See, I didn't say parliament ayefun. Okay. Me say ayefu. Ayefu means nasty. And yet, me say ayefu.
Oh, ayefu cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
If parliament is not cheap, no, the guy could not even go on air to insult me the way he insulted, and rather parliament accuse me when I am responding.
All right. So, Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak will be presenting his evidence. Earlier, you said that you didn't do anything wrong. Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, I have never insulted Parliament. I didn't insult Parliament. That's why I call him dumb. He consumes information and he doesn't digest.
So prior to this, what was your relationship with?
He's not my friend. But during the vetting, he called me and asked me to tell Esla something. I called Esla and said, this is what the guys are saying. I'm surprised. The Esla answer was fantastic. I said, how? I'm a lawyer. I qualify to be a minister. No, I'm not going to do it.
Are you suggesting that they were asking her to pay anything?
I don't. Well, when he challenges me, then he will see.
Anyway, so what did you deduce from the initial insets of him making those statements on his station, and then also his subsequent response?
So
with Benny
I think it's pretty much the same thing we're talking about.
Right.
Let him appear before the committee, and he's saying something here that all of you have to pay attention to. I respect my leader.
That's an afterthought.
No. Well, he's coming here to say that he does. This is another thing that say I never insulted Parliament. I never said Parliament is useless, whatever. I say IFO. It means maybe the process for getting in or whatever. Yeah. To the extent
maybe perhaps it's the local parlance translation that we're not getting.
You see, honorable.
Hold on,
stop
please.
making excuses.
No. I am not. I'm just basically responding. Hold on.
You are from Bantam.
If you leave me for us to take it to truth, there's this thing that we say. No. There's this thing that we say in what do you call it in account that right? If you say
it's accepted,
it's accepted.
That is not applicable.
No, hold on. I'm just trying to tell you, if you go down there, because you say you don't understand tree.
That is not applicable.
So the point I'm making is that let him appear before the committee. They will ask questions.
Who is stopping him from appearing before the committee?
So we should allow the process to take to go on, and at the end of the day, if he's able to convince the committee that he never insulted Parliament, I'm a member of Parliament, I never insulted the leader, and we'll see how it's going to pan out.
He said that in the initial one, he said he's not afraid of the leader.
And the leader is dumb.
No. Well, the leader, which of these leaders is he talking about? Listen, let's not go back into these issues.
Why?
Now the process is
these are public statements he made.
Why?
Roland,
Parliament is going to do their own.
The process is
he can
ongoing.
continue to insult and threaten you people, but not Parliament.
Let me tell you.
Won't tolerate it as an institution.
No. Let me tell you. No one
you
is
can make
above.
excuses for
no one is above that. I'm not trying to defend him.
That's what you're doing.
No.
He's
Stop.
your friend.
Don't put me there.
That's what you're doing.
No. Don't put me there. I will do the same thing for you. Don't put me there.
No.
The point I'm making is that if I sit on this privilege committee, I'll be asking him questions. I will be asking questions as well.
So it's good that you're not a member of the
let him go through the process and let's see. After all,
we invited you here because we knew that you have to. No.
If he doesn't respect Parliament, he will not even respond.
The other day, we invited the vice of the Privileges Committee.
Sure.
And that is Honorable Agyapong Mesa, Member of Parliament for Second D.
Sure.
And he said, look, he's the vice of the committee. He can make so we looked at the varied number of people who come on the show and the contributions they can. That's how come we invited you. Knowing that you will stand your ground, be bold. Bantama.
Honorable Kennedy, what do you call it? Kennedy is a friend to everybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay? You will see him and we are all friends. In Parliament, we are not enemies. You know that.
No, we are not enemies.
But
I'm not a close friend to him.
No.
Beyond being members of Parliament colleagues, I have got nothing to do with him.
I am not that close of a friend to him as well. But what I can tell you is
I don't want you to suggest to our viewers that someone...
But we're not, this is not the committee, so let's not do the committee matter.
What you're saying is very simple.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to push him.
What you're saying is not simple. You're making it very murky.
All I'm saying is that the process is ongoing. So we should allow the process to go on so that we don't preempt any conclusion.
What are we preempting?
No.
The gentleman made a public statement. You are saying we're preempting.
Let me remind my friend that nobody is advocating for the committee to stop working.
Okay.
And nobody is saying that Kennedy Agyapong should not be given a platform to defend himself. No one has said that.
Okay.
But you see, you have just watched the insect.
That is
me. I can't speak tree. You can. You are from Bantama. Parliament. What does it mean?
Oh, Parliament.
What does it mean?
Parliament.
You see, when the man speaks...
If you don't understand the language, don't try to interpret it.
Okay, wait. The man himself says
wait.
And when he even says that your leader is dumb, you are not offended?
Mohammed,
you said that's Muntaka. No, that's Muntaka. You said Muntaka.
They are both leaders.
Okay.
For him to have referred to a leader of the house, not even just a leader, even a backbencher, you don't refer to your colleague MP as a dumb.
I do not. No, I do not agree to that statement.
On television to defend this.
I am not defending that.
He said he's not defending.
No, I am not. No, I am not defending that.
He says he's not defending.
I'm not defending that.
Because you are from the same political party.
No.
Oh, he said he's not defending. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to?
I just want to encourage him to protect the institution of Parliament, that he will protect Kennedy Agyapong.
No. What you don't understand is that I will not do anything as a member of Parliament to bring the name of Parliament down.
That's what your colleague has done.
So what I'm saying is that if
you see tomorrow,
hold on. If it's insulting the leaders of MP, I do not agree that anybody should even insult each other, not alone the leaders.
My brother, tomorrow, if a non-MP, if a non-MP tomorrow condemns you as a member of Parliament,
you're not allowing me to make my point.
You would not have the courage to condemn that person.
No, my friend.
You don't have the courage to deal with that person because you cannot deal with your own.
What you don't.
You don't do that.
No.
You just don't do that.
No. What you don't understand. You're just basically accusing
the guardian public is watching your conduct.
What I'm saying is that because he's going to appear before the committee.
Who is preventing him from appearing before the committee?
It's okay.
You don't want me to make my point. It's pretty simple. Let him go before the committee. Because if it is this incident,
it's okay.
That we just watched.
The two of you didn't ask for tea this morning. Why?
This incident that we just watched. If he's calling the leaders,
that's okay. No comment on this.
I'm just telling you that.
I think that.
Let's move on.
I think the gentleman is here. He says that. He says.
I'm trying to elevate the conversation from the issue of Kennedy Agyapong and what he may have said. The practice of politicians owning media houses and using that as a platform to churn out.
It's not coming up for discussion.
We must be very careful with it.
No.
You think he could have said that on your platform? You'd have stopped him. But this is a platform that he owns and pays the gentleman the host.
The Ghanaian Times. Can we do the Ghanaian Times? Not really only the Ghanaian Times. We have
interesting.
We have a commission that has been set up to look at setting up of regions. We also have a minister for all that put together. And as a result of that, they've been doing some great work. They've gone round. Now they recommend it to government that we need to create some regions,
Yes.
the 6 regions as itemized. We've published the story as well, broadcast it widely, and they are recommending that pursuant to the constitutional instrument, etc., that has been named here, they have spoken widely to interest groups in the various areas, and new regions will be formed, and we're going to have new regions also indicated in all the places that we're told. There will be a T region, Northeast region. We're also going to have a new region also carved out of the Bunafu region, etc.
Sure.
Let me get your thoughts on the initial recommendation of the commission.
Well, first and foremost, I think I'm very happy and must applaud the government for staying the course on this. I think it was one of the promises that was given during the campaign for the 2016 election, and the fact that he's been able to set up a committee and gone through the process. And if you watch what the president was saying, that he monitored what was going on and saw the interest. For me, I think what the president has done is good, because we want to make sure that Ghana develops. And how do we ensure that the development is fast enough to ensure that people get what they deserve? At the end of the day, you can have a region that is so huge, so large, to the point that if you don't take care, development that is supposed to go to all corners of the country will be skewed towards one particular area in a region. So when it has come to the point that the people want to have their own region, have their own metropolitan assemblies or district assemblies to be able to do what they have to do, this is, I think, what we need as a country. Let's divide Ghana into additional regions. Let's add about 6 additional regions to open up the region, the country, for more development. So for me, because if you look at what they were saying, I watched the report that was being given in, I think, in the Jubilee House, and you see that everywhere they went, they saw that people wanted to have a chance to develop their own communities and stuff like that. So I support it. I applaud the government for what it is doing, and I hope now that it is at the doorstep of the EC, the processes will not stop. It will continue as it started, so that within maybe the time frame that is set, we'll be able to get this resolved, so that Ghana, I think, will begin to grow again.
Okay, Western, North, Bono, East, I have for Savannah, Northeast, and Oti. Those are the regions. Your area also captured?
Yes,
so.
That's where...
Northeast?
Yes.
Northeast?
Yes.
So we'll be carved out of the northern region?
We are not sure yet, because we are still going through the process. It's a campaign pledge that they make. Let's see how they will be able to achieve that.
It was also made by the NDC as well.
Yes.
Oh, they also believe in it.
Yes.
They said they'll create 5, I remember.
Yes. And those portions of the NDC manifesto, I really have had some issues with it. I must admit publicly. I don't
ascribe.
Not
well
really.
thought out.
You see, you don't respond to the campaign pledge of your opponent.
Oh, but that's what you guys did.
Exactly. Oh, I am an individual.
Oh, no, that's what you guys did.
An opinion.
When we said we're going to restore the teachers' allowance, they said they will restore 2.
Oh, my brother, take it easy. On the creation of the new regions, Roland, so far, so good. They are going through the processes. What I expected the committee, the very thorny issue.
It's a commission.
The commission. The very thorny issue is the referendum. I have heard some people argue, some lawyers argue, that the referendum will be limited to the proposed new regions, the geographical location within the proposed new regions. And that is not the understanding I have reading the Constitution. For instance, if you want to create a region from the current Volta region, the Oti region, and you want to go for a referendum, it is the entire region that must vote. 50%, at least 50% of the registered voters within the entire voter region must vote, and at least 80% should have
from what the commission is saying.
The commission, I haven't seen the report yet.
Okay.
I'd want to see the report and
I think that what I know
my
is
my interest is where the referendum would be held. In fact, I believe, reading the Constitution, that it should be the entire region as they exist now that would vote. 50%, at least 50% turnout, with 80% accepting to the creation of the new region. But you see my worry, and my worry has to do with the purpose for the creation. I just want to know.
The intent.
I just want to know what the government seeks to achieve.
For development.
You see, and that's where the problem comes. No,
development.
take it easy. When you were speaking, I was just quiet. Who tells you that you can facilitate rapid development with the creation of a region? In fact, I serve on the local government committee of Parliament. If you think that an area is deprived and you want to facilitate the rapid development of that area, in my estimation, what you do is to create more districts. When you do that, those new districts would be entitled to district assembly common fund that will be used to fix very, very basic amenities.
Let me ask.
You see,
the allocations in the budget, the appropriations.
Yes.
Are those allocations or appropriations made regionally, or they are made
No,
districts?
you see, regional coordinating councils, all that they do is to coordinate the administrative functions of the district. That's all that they do.
So you are saying that really carving out new regions?
Carving a new region does not in any way facilitate development.
That is your belief.
The other argument that I have heard people
that's your belief.
Advocate is that it would facilitate administrative work. If the president can sit at the Flagstaff House in Accra here and have control over Sanguli, Tatale, Cherpuni, why can't the regional minister in Tamale have effective supervisory role in those same areas? I have a problem. If you look, what are you using as a basis for the creation? When you create new regions based on ethnic lines, you are going to plunge this country into chaos in the future. Is that
what is being done? That's not fair comment. That's not fair comment because some of those regions.
Roland.
Yes, sir.
Look at the demarcations very well, the proposed demarcations, and you would see. You see, you don't create regions based on ethnic demands and ethnic.
The people of Myon are mainly.
Konkumbes and the Gumbes. Konkumbes and the Gumbes.
Yes.
Mix. But you see my problem, Roland. What is the basis? What are you using as a yardstick to do the creation of the regions? Is it land size or population? Look, compare. No, just take it easy.
No. You're taking all the time. Let me. You're asking questions that I can respond.
Compare the land size
of
Ashanti region to Volta region.
No.
Take it easy. Compare the population of Ashanti region to Volta region.
Okay.
Those are legitimate questions that we must ask.
Okay. But the Ashanti region, they are homogeneous.
They are not interested.
They are homogeneous.
In what? So you now agree with me that they are creating them based on ethnic lines.
Roland,
no.
Roland.
No. I'm not supposed to. I'm making an interjection.
It's okay.
So you see, compare.
It's an interjection.
Just look at the
they're all Ashantis mainly.
Yeah. So you see, you don't create regions based on ethnic lines. If you do that, you are going to plunge this country into chaos in the future. By which time President Akufo-Addo will not be the president of the Republic again.
This one was also promised by the NDC too. But you're saying on your personal level, perhaps you don't agree with it.
Perhaps myself and you cannot tell how the NDC would have done it. And I also believe that if I was part of the team that looked at the manifesto, I'm not sure I would have. I thought that would only responding to that.
He just basically informed us that. Hold on, please.
Excuse me.
He just basically. If I had my friend,
you've lived in the U.S.
Yes.
As you respond to him.
Yes.
Is it only by creation of regions or counties, so to speak, that we can?
Let me say this. I've just learned that the NDC manifesto for 2006 was not well thought out, especially with respect to the creation of. They were just responding.
He was not a member of the manifesto.
No, well, he just responded.
But you're not political party.
You see,
do you adhere to every campaign promise in the manifesto?
The only thing I can tell you, is that our manifesto, our promise to Ghanaians, were all well thought out. The reason being this. We wanted to develop this country. I don't know why he's suspicious. We want to develop Ghana. We think that by just opening up and creating more regions will be one of the strategies to be able to.
How would the creation of new region facilitate development?
For instance, Roland, I remember, and I think he will bear me out, when we came and were fresh in Parliament and we realized that ministerial appointment and different kinds of appointment were going on, I think we were hearing, I don't know if you heard that let's make sure that the appointment of people in diverse places, we ensure that there's what we call regional balance.
It's a constitutional provision.
Hold on.
No, it's a constitutional provision.
Thank you. I like that.
It's a constitutional provision.
Good.
So proceed.
So the Constitution of Ghana, Roland, says that when you are appointing people, ensure that there's a regional balance. And there's a place.
How does this link
Hold
up to
on. I'm coming. No, I'm just telling you how it leads to development.
So all that you are looking at is appointments.
No.
Who will become a regional minister?
Please. No.
Regional minister.
The Constitution, according to what you're saying.
Great assemblies.
Hold on, please. When you were talking, I didn't speak. I didn't speak. I respected you. Please.
Proceed.
Respect. Let's be honorable. No, because I let you talk. I'm just trying to teach you. We always do.
You've heckled me.
No.
A couple of times.
Yeah, because
it's okay. Teach me. Mohammed, it's okay.
You want to teach me?
He doesn't understand.
You say want to teach me?
No, I'm trying to educate you.
I just want you to repeat.
No, he wants
to educate you on how creation of regions can lead to development.
The reverse gear.
No, I don't mind if you have to teach me. No problem. No, you have to be teachable.
You have to understand the context in which.
Yes, the context I'm saying.
It's not like he wants to teach you like the classroom.
Yeah, maybe I can even teach you. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We can teach each other. No problem.
Proceed.
The point I'm making is that we believe one of the strategies to kind of like develop this country first is let's just open it up. So, for instance, assuming we are saying let's create airports, domestic airport per region. Some people will think that maybe we will not get some here or in one place or the other. It could be politically manipulated, whatever it is.
But if you want to,
I am saying that
if government says that I have a central budget, and this is how I want to spend the money by building airports in a midsection in this one, it's got nothing really to do.
Roland, the point I'm making is that
yes, sir.
When you create a region, what do? You create regional administration. You try to make sure that at least for the amenities that the community should have as a region, they'll all be there. Maybe assuming we have distribution universities will also be given to each of the regions. So we believe, and the people have to decide. Are you saying
that we can't have 5 universities in a
Roland, the point I'm making is that we can. We can have as many as you want, any way you want to have it. But when we are distributing the resources, and let's say northern east, whatever region, northeast region is given opportunity. They will be given resources to develop. Let me tell you this issue about
that's what I asked you. The budget.
The development authorities.
You're a finance person. The budget.
Yes.
And you're in Parliament. When they are doing their allocations, is it done on regional basis?
No, it's that. No. Well, of course, if you have a region, the region.
I know what the budget usually. I know what the budget usually makes allocations for.
Can I help you?
Is the district
Can I help you?
No, it's the district assembly common fund.
Yes.
That's budgeted. I don't see regional common fund in there.
Roland,
yes,
the bottom line is that when we call a place a region, there are certain requirements that you need to have there. You have a regional hospital, you might even have an airport, you have this. So
are you saying that in the Volta region you can't we have district hospitals?
As if no universities and airports. How many of them have you done?
Oh, I'm just saying that for development purposes, we have the view that, and don't forget, Ghanaians didn't give us the mandate for nothing. We believe one of the ways to get development faster is to break the nation up to additional regions so that we can quicken the pace of development. Allow us to go. At the end of the day, if Ghanaians are unhappy with it, the decision will be made through the referendum and also by what they decide whether to continue us to or to bring you back. So let us go. This is how we think. This is what we promised them, that we want to make sure that Ghana's development is faster than what we've been doing in the past. So let's create additional regions and let's open the country up and bring development to the communities. That is our strategy of getting to the goal. Let us have it. You, according to what you just said now, that you were just following us. You responded to our campaign promise and therefore you also promised 5 regions.
That's what you said.
That it was not well thought out. He just said that right now.
You said it was not well thought out.
No. He said he doesn't agree with NDC because they were responding to...
But then you interpreted that to mean that
it means from what I...
No. He's on the floor.
It means from what I hear.
He's on the floor, please.
A lot of the things in the NDC...
No. Yes, but yes,
a lot of the things from what he's saying, lots of the things in the NDC's manifesto was response to us.
You see,
for instance, but the two parties, you do the same.
Let me tell you something. Roland.
This one said I'll do free SHS. This one said I'll do it this way.
Do you remember what we said?
That he makes references to me.
I will give you a chance, Honorable. Don't worry.
To respond.
Do you remember when we said we're going to pay or restore teachers' training allowance?
Don't divert the discussion.
I think the Vice President
don't divert the discussion. Stay on the creation of regions.
We will also pay. In fact, they went ahead to
Roland.
pay. So. And when we are dealing with NDC, please.
Stay focused on the creation of new regions.
Let me go on.
Stay focused on it.
I will.
Please conclude. He's not.
Stay focused
in
my
conclusion. Yeah, conclude.
When you put NDC government in power, you're basically putting the nation in autopilot without control. What we are doing now is fundamentally to begin to fix their mess. We have a promise to the people. It's all right. It's okay. You can decide.
You guys are the mess.
Fix their mess. We have promised the people through our manifesto that we will do X, Y, Z. We are working on those promises as well. But at the end of the day, we set an agenda for a higher thing, Ghana beyond aid. So give us the opportunity. We have the mandate now. We respect the mandate that has been given to us. Ghanaians voted us in power for a reason. So please, allow us and the president of Akufo-Addo.
My time is up. I have only 2 minutes. I'll give it 2 minutes.
You see,
I have only 2 minutes.
You see, it's like setting his own exam questions and answering them.
There's nothing wrong.
This discussion has got nothing to do with teachers and nurses allowances. It has got nothing to do with
I'm just referring to you not thinking out your issues properly.
To respect you when you're speaking.
Plans that you do.
You ask me to respect you when you're speaking.
It's small interruption.
No. You ask me
to do what?
On this same platform to respect you.
Okay.
Because you said I didn't respect you when you were speaking. So I will ask of you to also respect me.
I do.
Just keep quiet and let me also have my turn.
But don't come to me.
You don't set your own exam questions and proceed to answer them.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm just giving you examples.
Respect
that's okay, please.
You see, it is not about who wins the next elections.
Then what is it about?
I have told you, and you have not been able to dispute that the only way you can facilitate development is to create new assemblies that would entitle them to district assembly command fund.
Is not
if
correct.
Ghana, for instance, decides
to
build 10 universities in Volta region,
Roland,
no one can stop government to do that.
The only way.
Oh, my brother.
That is not correct.
Would you respect me and our viewers? Would you respect me and our viewers?
The statement that the only way
if you
is what I disagree.
To build 10 regional hospitals in the Volta region or the northern region, no one can stop you. Right? I am saying that if you are using land size or population as a basis for the creation of the regions, I have just asked a simple question why you are not creating one in Ashanti region and the Eastern region. You see,
I think, Honorable, Speaker, I think you don't understand.
Plunging this country into anarchy. I'm telling you. No, you don't create regions based on ethnic lines.
A lot of our friends in the NDC don't understand things.
To make sure that anarchy doesn't.
You guys are the mess. You guys
to make sure anarchy doesn't befall.
You guys are the mess.
Everybody knows.
To make sure that. To make sure anarchy doesn't befall this country. we have to end the discussion.
Everybody knows.
No, but it's okay. We have to end the discussion. But Daniel Ochim.
I don't know why he's just trying to be a prophet of doom.
Daniel, I've got nothing against Daniel Ochim. I'm just cautioning you guys.
Daniel Ochim Abwaje is a member of Parliament for Bantama. And Mohammed Abdulaziz, Member of Parliament from Yon. Did you go to Tamale Secondary School?
No, I attended Business Secondary School in Tamale.
Okay. Yeah. Tamale Secondary School,
whatever.
Very strong school.
I know, right?
They in the Maths and Science quiz.
I know. Those are the schools that makes name down of Damascus, Ghana School.
Is that where John Mama went?
Oh, John Mama attended Ghana School.
Ghana School.
And our able leader attended Navarre School.
Well,
and Tamasco, yes. And Tamasco.
I hope we all put Ghana first and not be too...
Put Ghana first in the creation of
I think Dr. Baumia attended Tamasco.
Why not? We are doing it.
I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that. I know of John Dramani Mama
Roland,
and Haruna Idrisu.
But
trust me, I don't know. Trust me, I don't know.
Do you know what? Ghana is working again. It is.
Ghana is working again.
And when they say they are cleaning our mess, let us be very frank. You guys are the mess. Right from the number one person,
Daniel Ochim Abwaje, Member of Parliament for Bantama, Mohammed Abdulaziz, Member of Parliament for Myong. But we have to bring you the latest update from the ground where we're having the recording as well as the ongoing contest, the Maths and Science quiz, and we know that exciting period it was yesterday. We'll have our man Maxwell Agbagba bring to us the latest update from the ground University of Ghana, and then also we'll have MFA Nancy Jiradosi alongside, and they will be asking some critical questions as they bring us the latest updates. But please make sure you get interactive. Facebook JoyNews on TV. You can watch us live there. You can also watch us live through our regular YouTube channel, Major Online TV. But we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. Just stay on.